We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Well, just like that, look who's back in the mix. Straight out of New York City, it's the red hot Knicks. And nothing's gonna stop us from hanging a banner. Not the Hawks, Heat, or even Indiana. It's the Knicks, back on pace, back in the chase, that's right.
Well, I guess we could all say that was a masterclass yesterday by good old Eddie Molloy. And what's that other guy's name? Jace something?
Jacyn Goble.
Complete masterclass of a game. And you know what's funny? I was having like mixed reactions, just not only on the game and the referees, but just in general of physical play. Because I'm looking at this game yesterday, I'm like, wow, this is an awfully fucking physical game, right? Like, it almost reminded you of basketball back in the days, right? So, obviously the few missed calls was really rough, right? And then I'm thinking like, okay, we kind of like have been wanting this kind of basketball as a not a fan base, but the NBA community in general. We're always talking about how we wish we could play more physical, how we wish, not to sort of say we want the hand check rule back, but we kind of wish the game was more physical and less like friendly-ish. So we were kind of getting a piece of that last night. And in the end, that kind of hurts. Just happened. Okay. In the end, that kind of hurt us. Obviously, there was a bunch of bad calls. First one was, I believe, the DiVincenzo three-pointer. I think that could have been called either way. I mean, I don't think we were getting the benefit of the doubt anyway. The next one was obviously Dylan Brooks' Euro step layup. I don't know if you guys remember, a dude punished Brunson with his shoulder, and for some odd reason, they called a foul on Brunson. And obviously, the last play of the game, we fought really hard to get back in that game last night, right? And the guy who was able to just bring us back into it was Brunson. I mean, there's no other guy that could just get us a bucket at any given moment. So you put the ball in Brunson's hands and you let the rest speak for itself. Brought us back into this game, hit the big shot to tie it. What happens? Aaron Holiday gets a shot, throws a fucking heave way beyond the three-point line, right? Was an abysmal shot attempt. He threw it with one hand, double clutched, and what did the ref do? They called a foul. What would every other ref do? Let's go to overtime, boys. And for some reason, they called a fucking foul. That was, listen, I've been watching basketball my whole entire fucking life. That was the worst officiated game I've watched in an awfully long time. And you know what? What did we ask for at the end of the game? We wanted a fucking answer, right? We wanted an answer. So Fred Katz, the one and only Fred Katz, who covers the Knicks for The Athletic, I believe he's for The Athletic, he wound up catching up with Eddie Molloy after the game. I'm going to read you off the question and Eddie Molloy's answer. Fred Katz asked, why was there a shooting foul called on Jalen Brunson against Aaron Holiday on the Rockets' final possession of the game? Molloy's answer. In live action, it was felt that the lower body contact was illegal contact. Fred then proceeded on asking this next question. After seeing the replay, do officials believe it was the correct call? Molloy answers, after seeing it during post-game review, the offensive player was able to return to a normal playing position on the floor. The contact which occurred after the release of the ball, therefore, is incidental and marginal to the shot attempt and should not have been called. What the fuck do we need that answer for, guys? You guys want the satisfaction of hearing Eddie Molloy after the game tell us that the call was wrong? We already knew the call was fucking wrong. I don't need no answers. The outcome of the game is the outcome of the game. Nothing's changing. We can't take a loss and make it a win. I don't need to hear Ed Molloy ever again. I don't want Ed Molloy refereeing a Knicks game this whole rest of the season. And actually, supposedly, and I wasn't even aware, I don't know if guys, if you're aware, But there is repercussions to some of these refs on these bad calls, which I found out today. So that could result in fines. They're kind of undisclosed. We don't hear about them. And it also could affect them from they will stop playing them, stop letting them ref certain games, or maybe they'll get a couple of games off. Whatever the case is, there is repercussions, which was obviously nice to see, because that's kind of what we've been asking for over the past couple of years. And who knows if this has been in play, actually. But these referees do get fined and do miss games for these bad calls. And also, I also read that they will miss playoff games, which is obviously, I'm sure there's a bonus in pay during those times of the years. The game in general, I tell you what, Alec Burks was happy he got traded to the Knicks. Didn't watch the first game, actually, because I happened to be at work. But last game, I mean, it looked like Alex Burks was very comfortable chucking shots from every which part of the court. And they weren't even close to hitting the rim. And even sometimes, listen, Alec Burks could kind of handle the rock a little. We've seen him bring the ball up the court, run some pick and rolls. Somehow the ball would be ricocheted off the backboard and then eventually back at the three-point line turnover. So there was a bunch of bad possessions from Alec Burks. I'm not really super worried. Listen, it's 2 games in. It's a new system. You're adding a 20-point scorer to the team in Bogdanovic, who obviously looked good in the fourth quarter. Didn't really look good for the first 3, and is obviously kind of a cone on defense. But I was happy he was able to pick up some slack on the offensive end in the fourth quarter, because we fucking needed that help. And going forward, actually, something that I've been thinking about, bringing on these 2 new players in the position that we're at now, where we got 3 out of 5 starters out. We got OG out for an extended period of time. We got Randall out for an extended period of time. And supposedly the producer of the show, Vinny, just said Hartenstein could possibly out 6+ weeks. I don't know where that
No.
Okay.
No. That was Julius.
Okay, so that was Julius, or whatever the case may be. So Hartenstein's out, OG's out, and Randall's out, and we're looking for some depth. We bring in 2 guys who have been putting up decent numbers on the worst team in basketball, and there is an adjustment period. There is an adjustment period when you're bringing up plus players that need to put up shots, that need to put the ball in the basket in order to be productive. So at certain points in the games, when Knicks players are used to going to one guy and one guy only in the clutch, or when they need a basket, now there's multiple options. You got Burks, who could put the ball in the basket late in the game. You got Bogdanovic, who could put the ball in the basket late in the game. So there's going to be some adjustment in terms of like when or where these guys want the ball on the court. But in the end, the guy who wants to bring us home and the guy who's going to keep us in all games late in the game is probably going to be Jalen Brunson. But I did see a lot of times during the fourth quarter and late in the third quarter where it seems like they didn't know where to go with the ball because Burks and Bogdanovic were also on the court. And usually those have been times where Brunson kind of gets the rock and makes the decisions. And that's kind of what you want. You want the ball in your best player's hands, and you want to let him make the decisions. Get to some comments here. Rodney Boatwright, agreed. I've been an NBA fan for 15 years, not just the worst single call, but the worst called game as a whole. Yeah, Rodney, like I said, been watching basketball a long time. I mean, besides, listen, I don't mind the physicality being let had, right? That's what we all want as real basketball fans. We want a physical game. So Dylan Brooks, you got Jason Tate, you got Aaron Holiday, you got a lot of guys who are trying to just make Dylan Brooks has already made a name for himself, but they're kind of trying to make a new identity for that team over there. And it seems like one of them is being very physical and trying to muck up teams and trying to just muck up the game in general. That's like kind of the Miami Heat formula. We know what they kind of do. They kind of try to just out-muscle you, out-hustle you, and beat you the hell up. That's usually the Knicks game plan. But right now, the guys that usually do the muscling and beating people up aren't playing. So it seems like we got kind of a little rattled with their pressure, with their defensive pressure. And Dylan Brooks on Jalen Brunson, that's a tough That's a tough task for Jalen Brunson. Dylan Brooks is one of the most physical players in the whole entire NBA. He's going to get up in your chest. You're not going to get off nothing easy. And even when you do, you're going to feel some contact any which way possible. So it was just a tough game overall. Calls didn't go our way. But there's no excuses, guys. It's hard to when you lose a game like that, like it's so easy to blame the refs because it kind of came down to like that last call because in overtime, that's Jalen Brunson's time. They didn't have Fred VanVleet. They didn't have no composure. So the reason why we got in that game, and why they couldn't kind of control us coming back into that game was because we had a guy who can manipulate the game, right? They didn't have a Fred VanVleet was hurt last night. So when I see in the fourth quarter kind of unraveling, I'm like, we kind of got this because Jalen Brunson kind of knows how to calm the temperature of the game. We had that. Fred VanVleet wasn't there. So that's why we were able to kind of swing back into the game. But obviously referees kind of ruined that fucking call. Ruined the fucking game in general. James L., if Jalen Brunson gets locked down by Brooks, how could he be MVP? I don't think Jalen Brunson got really locked down by Brooks. I just think there's only one guy on the court who could really create his own shot, right? So it's a pretty simple tactic, and we kind of been seeing it since that Lakers game, is that they're showing a lot of bodies to Jalen Brunson. It's usually 2 with sometimes even 3 bodies on Jalen Brunson. So he's not able to just swing, and trust everybody on the court. He's kind of got to take the ball. He's kind of got to even take more dribbles and take more time off the possession in order for the Knicks to create any kind of offense. Last night, he played 38 minutes. He was 10 for 25 from the field, which is not shooting 40% from 3. He shot 2 for 6 from 3, which is 33%. He got to the free throw line 8 times. That was another thing. I know there was a large disparity in free throws last night. I believe they had like over 30 free throws, and we had 12. Which is insane because Jalen Brunson gets in the paint at will, and nobody takes more of a beating than that boy. Get to some of these more comments. Julio Lopez, thank you for coming by from YouTube. This might sound crazy, but maybe we should look into signing Dwight Howard. You never know. Help out on defense, rebounds, and coming off the bench when our centers return. That's something that we're gonna kind of talk about in a little bit. The buyout market in general. The Knicks, they signed Taj Gibson to another second 10-day contract. And I don't know how you guys feel about him. I know how I feel about Taj Gibson as the presence he brings to the team. But as far as the production on the court, guys, you see him like when the ball's just moving and possessions are like less than 10 seconds to go the other way back again on the defensive end. Taj Gibson's fucking winded, dude. Taj Gibson's 38, 39 years old. He does not belong playing 12 to 15 minutes. How many minutes did he play last? He played 5 minutes last night, okay? That's actually less than what he has played recently. But in any amount of minutes that he plays, it's tough to watch. He just can't move. He could rebound. He could put a body. Listen, we actually had a hard time rebounding the basketball last night. That's one of our strong suits. Besides Precious, he was all over the boards. But you had guys in foul trouble. We were giving some second chance opportunities up. So Taj did come in the game 5 minutes, and he puts a body on people. He's able to grab rebounds. That's just fundamental basketball. Putting your fucking ass, pause, up against the guys, and securing the position and grabbing a rebound. So we know he's able to do that. But you're playing 4-on-5 on the other end. And even on pick and rolls now, he's not able to move his feet how he used to. It's tough. It's tough watching Taj. And listen, like I said, I love his presence in the locker room. He probably brings a good leadership aspect to the team. There's never enough for that. We kind of got no vets on this team, right? Bogdanovich is now the other vet. He's 34 years old. Burks, I believe he's 32, 33 years old. So these are kind of our vets. We don't have like our Udonis Haslem is Taj Gibson, guys, as crazy as it fucking sounds. And it's not looking good from that aspect. This All-Star break can't come fucking soon enough. CP, Shout out to you for stopping by, brother. And also, awesome job on that stream the other night with Mills. That was really cool to watch you guys. You guys got some cool camaraderie there. I'd love to have you up more often. With CP from YouTube, he says 33 to 12 on the free throws. Yeah, I think I was right around that range. Yeah, like I said, it was a ref masterclass. And the same ref, what's that ref's name, Vin, again? Not Ed Molloy, the other guy?
Jacyn Goble.
That guy is the same ref that called. I don't know if you guys remember that funny clip that got posted last season. It was the Lakers Celtics game at Boston. You kind of see LeBron James acting like a female after it was like late whistle, late in the game, fourth quarter. Cole didn't go his way. He was just like, he was on the floor. It looked like he was back. Like he just looked like he was visibly upset. And everybody made fun of him as usual because he acts like a little female baby when it comes to not getting his way. But that's the same referee that didn't call the call for LeBron and the Lakers last year that really, this two got the biggest New York guys, that really hurt them. So this is the same ref. Yeah, we might have another Tim Donahue on our hands for all we fucking know, you know? Parlays are a big deal now, guys, right? Get to some comments. James L said this dude got the biggest New York accent. Yeah, through and through New York, and man, Queens, New York. For everybody that's at Instagram, we cannot read any of your comments. If you come over to our YouTube channel, our link is in the bio. Please go over to YouTube, hit that like button, hit that share button, and please subscribe to the channel. Teresa Vincent, teams are doubling on Brunson because Randall is not there. When Randall comes back, Brunson will be good. So something that I've noticed about the Brunson-Randall pairing, obviously we know Randall and Brunson kind of relieve each other in terms of if one guy's not open, kind of the other guy's going to be open, or they kind of just take turns playing around with the ball. So since Brunson has kind of been in it without Randall, you've seen like Brunson's three-point production kind of drop dramatically. I believe he's shooting like less than 35% from the field, but less than 35% from three with that Randall has been out. So that's something that I'm not going to say it's worrisome, but I don't even think that's sustainable. Once we get, like I said, once we get Randall, one of the two, Randall or OG, whoever comes back fast enough, the Knicks are probably going to go on a nice little run. Right now, we're beat up. I mean, I know even DiVincenzo, the last couple of minutes of last game, he hurt his right hamstring and didn't return. So we don't even have any update on that. I know Thibodeau spoke about that post-game last night, but didn't have no update at all on that. That's something that we got to be aware from. So the buyout market is something that I'm sure the Knicks are looking at, as they should. They're kind of depleted in terms of roster flexibility. And it seems like the guy that's going to lose out on all this, guys, and Joe Yoke, who's one of the guys that is on the show a lot. He does a lot of post game, does a lot of these live streams during the day. Deuce McBride. There's been good things that have happened since Deuce McBride has got rotational minutes, since Quickly and RJ got traded. But now, since the Knicks traded for Bogdan and Alec Burks, it seems like Deuce is going to kind of be that guy that's going to lose minutes at the rotation. I'm sure Alec Burks is, according to Tibbs, I'm sure he trusts Alec Burks a little bit more late in the game. He likes his versatility. He likes his size. So it's sad to say, guys, but it looks like Deuce McBride is going to be on the short end of the stick here. Here's some other players that are kind of available on the buyout market that I could see that could be intriguing to the team. We got Robin Lopez. Obviously, former Knick, once a Knick, always a Knick. We know he's familiar with the mascots in the NBA. That's kind of what he's known for, is for beating up mascots. I kind of want him to just put the ball in the basket and grab rebounds and things like that. But for this season, what is he averaging? Let's get to his numbers. He played 16 games so far, 4 minutes a game, 1 point, not even a rebound, not even a block. Yeah, just very unproductive. Um, very unproductive so far, but the only way that he's going to get minutes and the only way that the Knicks are going to sign Robin Lopez or somebody like Robin Lopez is if Taj Gibson doesn't get signed to a second 10-day contract. So it's tough. You like Taj, born and bred New Yorker. He was with us. He was with us a few years ago when we were kind of just trying to climb the ladder. Now we're on top of the ladder, and Taj is kind of he's just too old, guys. He's just too old. I would have liked to have grabbed Biggs Mac Biyombo. He had a little nice stretch with the Grizzlies early on this season. They did happen to release him or waive him, and I believe he signed with another team. Let's just check. Oh, I forgot off the top of my head who he signed with. Bismack Biyombo. He signed with the Thunder. So that's a nice pickup for the Thunder. Actually, I'm a big fan of taking the Thunder taking a flyer on Gordon Hayward because late in the game, late into these games, or once playoff time comes, they're going to need some sort of veteran presence. They're going to need somebody to sort of relieve Shea Gilgeous-Alexander of the ball. Gordon Hayward's that guy. He's not in his prime, but Gordon Hayward's a bucket. Finest Bishop, shout out to you for coming over, man. Deuce needs to get a floater, and he needs to drive the ball, stop going east to west, and passing the ball like a hot potato. So I think that's going to be one of Deuce's. That's gotta what he's got to prioritize this offseason is that his handles have to get tighter. He has to add more to them. He really only has like a regular crossover, and a regular just behind the back dribble to try to get him separation. So that's got to be like in his off-season priority list is tightening up his handles and also getting that floater. Because when you're 6 foot guys and you're in the NBA, you need to kind of have that floater game in order to be effective. You know, Deuce McBride's 3-point shot definitely increased. His defensive intensity, we kind of know what he brings on that side of the ball. One of the best. I easily think Deuce McBride, if he played 25 minutes a game on any team, you'd see him in a lot more. I'm not going to say he'd be all defense, but you'd hear about his name a lot more. James, I'm not really going to answer this question, but we don't need these kind of comments on here. Mills isn't crying. She's definitely not sad. She's busy doing other things in life. Yeah, but we don't need that kind of negativity in here. Jason B from YouTube says Nerlens Noel is only 29 years old. Man, sometimes, guys, when I look at that roster, from the We Hear Knicks, and you see Elfrid Payton, you see Nerlens Noel, you see RJ Barrett, you see all these guys, but Nerlens Noel that year was easily one of the most impactful players during that season, and a huge part of the reason why we even got the 4th seed that year, because Mitch was out, and you needed one guy to step up. And even though his hands were probably the worst in the NBA and probably the worst in the whole entire world, he was a defensive menace down low, blocking every fucking shot possible. It was nice to see Nerlens Noel that year kind of step up in Mitch's absence, but he seems to be almost out of the league at this point. I haven't even heard his name in no discussions at all. Teresa Vincent said he needs to work out with Brunson. I'm not sure who you're talking about, Teresa, but please comment and let me know. Jonathan Fleming from YouTube. Shout out to you for coming by. You've always been a good supporter of the brand. Thank you. Those refs should be fined and suspended. Yeah, so I said this earlier, Jonathan. I actually read this morning that these referees do get fined, and I wouldn't call it a suspension. I mean, I guess you could kind of call it suspension. They do miss games later on during the year. I don't know if it's just the playoffs, but the NBA kind of handles that internally. So we don't know what's going to happen with Molloy and the other bald guy that reffed the game that kind of was the one that fucked us last night and missed that call. Oh, Teresa, you're talking about Brunson. Deuce needs to work out with Brunson. Yeah, I'm sure they work out all the time. I'm sure in practice, Jalen Brunson works with him all the time. But there obviously needs to be some further development in his game. I mean, Deuce McBride's a young player. He's Joe Yoke's favorite player. He's been saying for 2 years now that Deuce McBride is deserving of minutes. And I have said since the deadline, 2 weeks before the deadline, when all the rumors are starting to come, I have said that regardless of whatever happens, whoever we bring in, Deuce McBride has earned a spot in the rotation. And he obviously has earned it. How many minutes did he play last night? Played 5 minutes. Didn't get no minutes. So I did say that Alec Burks is kind of going to be the guy that takes most of his minutes, and Deuce is going to be the one that loses minutes. But you're going to see Deuce get thrown in there late in games. You're going to see him get thrown in there late in quarters for a defensive stop. Because that's the kind of player he is now. And from what I've seen, and what he was able to give us before the deadline, you can't trust Deuce McBride to relieve pressure off Jalen Brunson. He's not that type of player. He needs to be just a game manager on the opposite side of the ball, and on the defensive side, just be the pest that he always is. Get in passing lanes, play your guy hard, get over the top of screens. That's kind of the player that he is. We can't expect Deuce McBride to average 15, 12, 13 points a game. It's not going to happen. ATX_Bori from YouTube says, how about playing Toppin and see what he got? Jacob Toppin has put on a fucking show in the G League every time he's played. We've also seen over the past 2 years, Jacob Toppin, Deuce McBride, and who was the other guy that was putting up big numbers in the G League? Whatever. The other guy that I'm talking about didn't wind up coming up to the Knicks. But you've seen Deuce McBride put up some huge numbers in the G League, and right now we're seeing Jacob Toppin put some huge numbers in the G League. But don't get your hopes up in terms of Toppin getting minutes under Tibbs. He's too young. There's a lot of guys that are playing ahead of him, and the Knicks are really trying to win the championship this year, guys. I mean, I know I might sound crazy. I really might sound crazy, but the Knicks probably really believe inside that locker room, probably even more than us, that they could fucking go all the way. And you know who that has to do with, guys? For all you Tibbs haters out there, or for all you people that doubt Tibbs, that's the one thing that I think is probably one of his best characteristics, is that Tibbs's work and the work that he put in and the mentality that he kind of rubs off on the team, right? He makes them believe that you could fucking really win every night, regardless of who's out or who's in. We're going to put our best fucking foot forward, and we're going to try to win every fucking game. So the mentality that kind of Tibbs brings to the team as a whole and the culture that he set, it's really set in stone. If you're not playing, cheer on your teammates, and there might be an opportunity for you down the road to play later. Nobody's subject to the bench besides Aaron Fournier. We know how that turned out. But you never know down the road. Jacob Toppin may get some minutes. And when he gets minutes, these guys have to perform. People think when you get called on in the last 2 minutes of the game because it's garbage time that you shouldn't have to perform. No, that's when you should be playing your absolute fucking hardest, because there's going to be another opportunity after that. You might see 2 more minutes the next game because you played 2 minutes of garbage time, and that meant something to Tibbs. Every possession, every minute you're on that court, it means something. And Tom Thibodeau preaches that to his team, is that you got to be ready regardless of if you're playing 5 minutes or if you're playing fucking 35 minutes. DeMarco from YouTube, thank you for coming by, says the ref that called the foul was a Miami cop and a Heat fan before he became a coach. I had no knowledge of that, and I don't even want to confirm that news. But that is insane. And for whoever who digged up that information, it makes a lot of sense why he would never want the Knicks to win. It makes a lot of sense why he wouldn't want the Lakers to win that game last season. Interesting, DeMarco. Very interesting. Vaughn Allen from YouTube says, wait, Didi popped his hamstring. We have no, we're not really sure what's going on with DiVincenzo right now. But I know he hurt himself in the last 2 minutes of the game. And Thibodeau, they did ask Thibodeau about it for an update, and he didn't give us one. So I'm sure there'll be some type of an evaluation later. Vin, do you see me? Am I stuck on screen or something?
Yeah, you got some thumbs up on your face. I don't know what that is, man.
No, but I'm stuck though.
Yeah, you are.
What do I do?
I don't know. I'll turn it back on, buddy. Hey, everybody. Hey, everyone.
Bring me onto the stage. It's not working.
It ain't working. I'm here, though. So while Angela figures that out, let's see what the next comment is. We got to get healthy, though. Healthy. I'm with Tibbs, but no healthy, no chance. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all looking at the same thing here, man. Our team looks like we're struggling a little bit. I mean, a little bit, a lot of bit. I don't know what. This is the second time Angela's done this on stream. If someone's sending him thumbs up, stop doing it because it's breaking his screen. Do you think Tibbs' rotation is the no? Absolutely not. Most teams have a 10 to 9 man rotation. It's not just a Tibbs thing. It's just we're just unlucky. We're insanely unlucky right now. Yeah, Tibbs wants to play his guys till the clock runs out.
Come up, Vin. Sorry about that, guys. No idea what happened, but we're back. Okay, so let's talk about this. Finest Bitcher from YouTube says we gotta get healthy. I'm with Tibbs, but not healthy, no chance. I don't really know what that means, but yeah, no, we got to get healthy. Listen, the All-Star break is right around the corner. Wednesday's our last game. Tomorrow's our last game. We play the Magic at Orlando, I believe, which is always a tough game. That team gives us hell for years, even before Banchero came on, even before Wagner came on. For some reason, they have our number. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out tomorrow. You know what? I had us going 4-0 these last 4 games. And it looks like we really might go 0-4. And I've seen a lot of people, I believe Joe even, I don't know if he predicted we would go 0-4, but he did say he would be okay if the Knicks went 0-4. So here we are, guys, 0-3. And we're going for 0-4 going into the All-Star break. So it's kind of up to Tibbs, whether he wants to rest these guys for the last game, or he's going to put his front foot forward and see if he wants to go for the win. Get to some of these comments here. Thank you to everybody who's here. If you're on Instagram, guys, and you want to come over and you want your comment on the stage, please come over to our YouTube channel. The link is in our bio. You could just go over to YouTube, and we gladly like to talk and comment on your point of view. What punishment? Jono from YouTube says, what punishment do you think is suitable for the rest if punished? I mean, I'm sure there's got to be some money involved. And I'm also sure they're going to probably miss some games. Probably miss a game. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm sure Thibodeau and the staff are probably sending in tape from last night during the games. And just to let them be aware of how these specific refs that ref the game are reffing games in general. So I'm sure there'll be some repercussions on that end. Jason B, do you think the Knicks will draft 2 first-rounders in the draft? I don't think the Knicks are drafting anybody in the first round because I don't think they're going to play anybody that they draft. I think every draft pick that they have at this point is going to be used for a star. The Knicks, there's no better team right now in a better position than the New York Knicks. We are in the fucking driver's seat for the next superstar that acts out of any team. I have no idea who that could be because things change very fucking fast in the NBA. The only thing I'm hoping for, the only player that I would really want to go for that just makes the most sense, it's Devin Booker. I've been saying it for the last couple of years. Devin Booker is the player that could take the Knicks to the promised land. So we'll see how that Phoenix thing unravels. You never know. Down the line, Devin Booker might be a Knick. Leon Rose was his agent before he became what he is with the Knicks. So we'll see going forward how that plays out. Eugenio from YouTube says refs have been doing this for years since the Charles Smith days. Why always against the Knicks? Who is Dolan not paying? Yeah. The Charles Smith days. Whenever I think about Charles Smith, I think about this one story that my uncle tells me all the time. He was actually at that game, right underneath the hoop, right at the hoop that Charles Smith attempted 3 missed layups at. So I always hear about that moment in Knicks history, and I'm actually tired of hearing about it. Fuck Charles Smith. How about that? For real. Eugenio, medieval punishment, shame, shame, shame. Jonathan Fleming says Brunson is going to go off in Orlando Thursday night. I guarantee it. I'm sure Brunson's going to play Thursday night. I'm sure Thibodeau's going to go for the win Thursday night. And I'm just going based off of if you listen to Jalen Brunson not after last game, but the game before that, he said, we can't focus on how we're going to look and how good we're going to be when everybody gets healthy. Don't quote me. This is just basically what he said. We got to find a way to be good now. So going forward for the next, even after the All-Star break now, guys, I mean, the roster is going to be the roster. Alec Burks and Bogdan Bogdanovic are going to be playing a large amount of minutes for this team. The rotations are basically going to be exactly how they are right now. So we have to find a way of how we could use these guys, how we could utilize these guys going forward to get wins, because we're playing NBA teams, guys. I mean, no matter what, we could be beat on any given night, regardless of how good Jalen Brunson is. Vaughn Allen says same ref called JB for a flop on a 3 versus the Bucks early this season in Milwaukee. Yeah, was that the Vaughn? If I'm not mistaken, was that the in-season tournament game, or was that earlier on in the season? Because I did see a clip. I did see somebody post that on Twitter, and they did talk about how that was a call that they didn't call on Brunson. Jeet the best. What's going on, man? Shout out to you for always coming by, brother. He says this whole game was officiated on leaving. Yeah, from start to finish. From start to finish, it was just a terribly called game. And here's my thing. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, like, I don't mind refs letting physicality go on, right? That's kind of what we enjoy as basketball fans. But you got to be consistent on both ends of the floor, right? Knicks had 12 free throws. Rockets had 32, I believe, or 33. That's just not fairly called. Knicks were in the paint just as much as the Rockets were. Jalen Brunson gets in the paint as much as any player in the NBA and gets mauled. And for some reason, never gets the fucking benefit of the doubt. What else? What the fuck else more does Jalen Brunson have to fucking do to earn his respect around the league? And I'm not talking about, you know what? I don't even want to bring up all these commentators, all these ESPN personalities that have constantly shit on Jalen Brunson. I'm talking about the fucking referees that are reffing Knicks games every night. Does this man not deserve the calls that he deserves? He's a superstar. He deserves the benefit of the doubt. He deserves to get foul calls, even though maybe they shouldn't be fouls. He didn't deserve to get a called foul on Aaron Holiday. It's the end of the game. You don't fucking call that. You go to overtime. And we would have gone to overtime and Jalen Brunson would have cooked these young boys. But you know what, guys? We didn't get the fucking chance. Jalen Brunson was taking over that fucking game last night. And the Rockets know, Ime Udoka knows that if Jalen Brunson was able to get that team to overtime, the Knicks were winning the fucking game. The Knicks were winning that fucking game. Shout out to everybody for coming by. Anybody that's on Instagram, we cannot read your comments. Please come over to our YouTube channel, comment. We gladly bring it up on the stage. Anybody that's on Twitter, if you're not a subscriber and you're watching, please come over to YouTube. We'd love to have your comment on stage. The only way that you could comment on Twitter is if you're a paid subscriber, because Elon Musk got to make money. Jack Dorsey was not that bright of an individual. He was just taking losses every year. I'm guessing. I mean, Elon Musk is charging. It seems like a lot of people are paying for it. Everybody's got to make money in everything they do, guys. Eugenio Free. Brooks was always trying to injure him out the game yesterday. Hit JB with like 3 flagrants. He should have been tossed. It was funny that one point when Dylan Brooks kind of tossed Brunson to the ground. And I don't want to say he felt bad for how he kind of defended that, but he went to go kind of pick up Brunson, and Brunson wasn't having it. That was pretty fucking cool. Dylan Brooks, I think you're a good player, but fuck you for that. Because I really feel like you would have pulled your hand back on Brunson, and you would have never been allowed in New York ever again if you would have done that. James L. Yeah, I don't want to kick you. You seem like a nice fan from the Brooklyn area. Just be nice in here. We try to make this a family show. The words that I curse are not that serious. This is the world we live in, bro. I want to express how I want to express.
For everybody who doesn't know, James is in here every stream. He's our resident Net fan hater. He's getting borderline to that getting kicked out the chat channel, though. You're getting a little too comfortable, James.
And also, guys, sooner rather than later, probably tomorrow, I'm sure we might stream sometime during the same time. It's probably going to turn to like a subscribers only thing. So, James, I hope you're subscribed to the pod. I hope you've subscribed to Big Nick Energy, and I would love to have you here. But as long as you subscribe to us. Also, guys, hit that thumbs up button and please share us on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. Jay Rock says, are you joking? There's literally 3 games separating fourth and second place. Yeah, I think the Knicks are in 4th place right now. We were in 2nd place 2 weeks ago or a week or so ago. So
those 2 people are the same person. Bach, Hype Man, and James L are the same person. So chat, they're trolling. So don't engage.
Yeah, don't engage with these Nets fans. Oh, James, thank you. You're subbed. I appreciate it. Next you could do is throw a super chat at us, and we greatly appreciate it even more. Actually, I'm going to talk about some things that we have in the works over here at Big Nick Energy. We're not 1,000% sure. Maybe we are. Vinny might interrupt and say we are 1,000% sure doing this. But sometime during the end of the season, guys, we plan on throwing like some sort of watch party. And we have this sort of idea. We have a bus that somebody on our team has. And we plan on painting it, designing it, basically a Big Nick Energy bus, basically like an interactive bus that we're going to have merch in that you could just engage with and play ball in front of. We have plans to do something with the bar that's a couple of blocks away from the garden. But we're in the works of setting that up. Something where we're going to watch the game together, interact with the bus. It's going to be really cool. Probably going to have to pay for food. It's going to be part of a whole deal. So something to keep an eye out on. We are working actively on that. And we'd love to get that done. And we hope everybody here would join our watch party. We actually threw one when the Knicks played the Hawks a couple of years ago. We threw it at Mustang Harry's on the 2nd floor. We did have some notable Instagram guys come. I don't know if you guys know the legendary Loopy from back in the day. He was there. We had Lukey Lunchbox. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. You can search him on Instagram. He's a good friend of ours. And we had New York Nico, who was also a very good, I'm not going to say he's a very good friend of mine, but he is an acquaintance. And he did join our watch party a couple of years ago. Yeah. So we're in the works with stuff like that. I do want to talk about Precious Achiuwa, guys. I mean, did anybody think when we were getting a Precious Achiuwa that he was actually going to play significant minutes and play a big role in the Knicks as we move forward? And I I'm telling you guys right now, when this Knicks team gets healthy, with the way Precious Achiuwa is playing currently, he's giving Thibodeau a run for his money. How's he going to sit him? With how productive of a basketball player that Precious Achiuwa is now, and how he's just kind of fit in seamlessly into the role that he is in right now, which is basically being the hustle, the muscle, rebounds. You even see Precious rolling off pick and rolls and getting little pocket passes, and he's flushing it. You're seeing it all right now from Precious, guys. He's even spotting up on the corner, which is literally insane. Okay, here we go. His last 10 games. Has he played 10 games with the Knicks? I'm not sure yet, but we're going to go off the last 10 games. He's playing 38 minutes a game. He's shooting 51% from the field, 25% but three. He's not throwing up that many at the rim. 9.8 rebounds, 1.7 blocks, a steal a game, and almost 11 points a game. So it's nice to know that we got a player like Precious that is willing to be the guy to do the dirty work. I'll tell you what, though, no matter what, I mean, there's such a difference when Isaiah Hartenstein is in this lineup and when he is not. The team moves at a different pace with Hartenstein in this lineup. The team looks more fluid in how they want to run offense when Isaiah Hartenstein is in the game. And something that I wasn't even aware of before he came to the Knicks, and that I've seen over the last few days, is that he could play defense. He can move his feet. He could switch onto a guard and guard. I'm not going to say you could just switch him onto a 3-guard permanently just to guard him throughout the whole game. But during certain situations, Precious Achiuwa could hold his own. Jeep the best. Shout out to you, brother, for the $5 super chat. We greatly appreciate that. We greatly appreciate the love. Next time, ask a question. We always appreciate your insight. So next time you throw a super chat, just throw us a good question. We'd like to answer.
Yeah, Jeep, feel free to throw the question now. We'll pin it. You got priority right now, bro.
Absolutely, guys. And for anybody that's commenting, we do prioritize our super chats. Before anything else, we're going to get to everybody's comment. Vaughn Allen says, wow, so how in his first 3 starts did Deuce score careers highs every single game, 19, 20, 21? Deuce McBride has been great. He's filled in exactly how he's supposed to fill in. When we needed him to score, he scored. When we needed him to guard, he guarded. He's done everything that Thibodeau's asked of him. And the Knicks, every time they have called his name, he has performed. Last year, when the Knicks were in a rut, right? When Derrick Rose and Fournier were getting burned, what did they do, right? Deuce McBride came into the lineup, and Quentin Grimes got inserted into the lineup. I don't know if it was because of injury Grimes wasn't playing. Yeah, I believe it was from injury, and the Knicks started just stringing along games. And that seemed to be the case this year. When Deuce McBride got his opportunity again due to injuries, he stepped up. Knicks started winning strings of games. So there's something there with Deuce McBride that he impacts winning. There's something there, guys. Thibodeau's got something there. But Deuce McBride is young. We signed him to a 3-year, $12 million contract. To me, that's a developmental contract. So we can't expect Deuce to be thrown in every situation and expect like some type of positivity out of it. There's going to be some learning spurts with him. There's going to be some growing pains with Deuce McBride. Stay with that boy. And if he isn't on the Knicks in like the next year or so, he's a really good trade piece. A really good trade piece that a lot of teams will like. So we'll see what's going on with Deuce going forward. Abdul Chema says, what's going on with iHeart? So as far as iHeart, guys, from what I know, we have a friend inside the organization that kind of just gives us little tips. He's been dealing with this last year, if you guys don't remember, early on in the season when Isaiah Hartenstein wasn't playing well. It was because he had a sore Achilles. On top of it, new team, new system, new everything. There is an adjustment period to all these types of acquisitions. So last year, he wasn't playing well. And I remember after the game, he said, I forgot what game, he did say that he was struggling because he had a sore Achilles. He fought through that and wound up making it out the other again as one of our most important players during last season. This season, Mitch Robinson playing some of his best ball ever, got hurt. Isaiah Hartside came in. Isaiah Hartside once again took another step, playing his best basketball once again. So it's nice to see iHeart just kind of get the opportunity that he has and make the most of it. Nature and Sports from YouTube, thank you for the super chat. Joe the D-Bag said New York was going to go 0-4 before the All-Star break, and he's about to be right. I hate when people are right predicting New York is going to lose. Yeah, Joe, you were spot on the whole entire time. The optimism that most of us Knicks fans have, or at least it's from me. I'm always gonna be on the optimistic side, and probably I'm more unrealistically on that optimistic side than anything. Yeah, but you might be right. But we'll see tomorrow if even Tibbs rests Brunson, if Hartenstein stays out another game and just waits fully towards that All-Star break. It's going to be interesting, but I'm going to find out the news before anybody else. I promise you that. For you guys that don't know, and for anybody that's watching on Twitter that constantly clowns me, I'm sorry. I got to stop using the word me. That constantly clowns us for us reporting news before Ian Begley, before Steve Popper, before Fred Katz. Don't hate me. Don't hate us. But we've been right basically every fucking time so far that we've gotten news that either there's been a trade or I don't want to go back to the
for the people who don't know, we have a friend of the organization. We're not insiders, but we get a little bone thrown here and there. And when that bone gets thrown to us, we throw right at you guys. And I don't understand the hate for it. We're just trying to give you guys the news.
Yeah, we don't want to be anything but what we are. But when we get news from people that are inside the Knicks or that are friends with people inside the Knicks organizations, we wouldn't put it out there if we didn't think that person was damn sure if that was positive or not.
This is Jeep, the one that gave the super chat earlier.
Jeep, thank you once again for that super chat. We greatly appreciate it. Annoyed the Knicks had plenty of opportunities to take the lead and was just jacking. Feel the Detroit duo need to take a deep breath and take better shots. That 3 1/4 by AB was brutal. Plain and simple, Jeep. Bogdan and Alec Burks just came off the worst team in the whole entire NBA. So the mentality of the players that they've been playing with has been a losing mentality. So that for the last 2 years, so there's going to be some adjustment for them coming to a team that prioritizes winning and prioritizing that every fucking possession matters. Every single time down the court matters. Every single defensive possession matters. When you're playing for a team like the Knicks and with Thibodeau, who's very detail orientated, it's going to be an adjustment period for these guys once again to just realize that every possession and every game is fucking important. And every time you step foot on that garden floor and you put that Knicks jersey on, it really fucking matters. And if you don't perform, you're going to hear from the Knicks fans. So we're about almost an hour in, guys. I want to go just a little bit after an hour. We're going to try to cut. We've been doing basically 2-hour streams for 2 weeks now. And we just kind of want to cut that down. We just kind of want to just give a little bit less than what we're giving. Hope you guys are cool with that. You got Javi ATX from YouTube said you guys are great, and I appreciate Javi. Thank you so much for that. We always appreciate the kind words. We don't hear them often, but when we do hear them, they're greatly appreciated. Eugenio Free from YouTube says appreciate the insider trader news, fellas. Eugenio, like I said, we don't want to make it seem like we're sources of anything. We just have a friend, and that friend is being a good friend to us and helping us out in any way. So we are who we are. You guys want to categorize us as a meme account, whatever. We're just people that like to talk Knicks with other Knicks fans. Okay. And just becoming something that we never thought it was. Big Nick Energy was never supposed to be what it is right now. But the reason why it is what it is now is because of all you guys showing us the love, showing us appreciation on every fucking platform. So from the bottom of the brand's heart, we appreciate everybody that is here and that has been supporting us all along. LB So Wavy 718. I like that name. I'm sure you're from New York, Queens, New York, baby. Shout out to you. I think we should rest our players for the Orlando game so we can rest and heal so we can come back after the All-Star play and go after another run. I think that's what kind of most Knicks fans have in their minds is that they kind of want Tibbs to rest their guys. I wouldn't be surprised if DiVincenzo sits. I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, and Jalen Brunson sit all next game. Because they're playing a lot of minutes. Let's even talk Josh Hart last night, guys. 42 minutes, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. I forgot, where are all the people that were shitting on Josh Hart like 3 weeks ago about his play? The dude's basically putting up a triple-double since Randall has been out. What more production? What else do you need to ask from this guy? He's doing everything he can in his power to produce for this team. And there always seems to be just some people just picking. Josh Hart is an impact basketball player. He's a winning basketball player. When it comes to the playoffs, that's when you will see the full impact of Josh Hart. Josh Hart can't play 42 minutes a game, guys. Donte DiVincenzo, how many minutes did he play last night? Let's get to that. 40 minutes last night. 9 for 21 from the field, 5 for 14 from 3, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 23 points. These guys are fucking exhausted. They're fucking exhausted. You're getting listen, the mentality of this team, right? Did you guys see that Donte DiVincenzo quote the other day? They were asking him, oh, what do you think about, kind of how you're playing this year? Or they were just talking about his points in general that game. He's obviously been scoring the ball at a clip that he's never scored at his whole entire career. So I forgot who asked him something about his production level. And he's like, you know what? I don't care. I'd rather score less points and play less minutes if that meant that the team was winning more. So, man, the mentality of this team is spot on. Everybody's willing to sacrifice for the better cause of the team. Donte DiVincenzo will gladly play 25 minutes and score 13 points a game. And Josh Hart will gladly play 28, 29, 30 minutes and score half of the amount of points that he's been if it meant winning games. Everybody on the Knicks team is on the team for the right reasons. They want to win basketball game. Bogdan Bogdanovic. I always say his fucking name wrong. Don't be mad. Been playing on Detroit for the past year and a half. Dude hasn't missed a playoff once in his career. 34 years old. I believe he's making more than $20 million a year. He's on, this is the last year is his deal. I don't know if he has a player option or not. I'm not going to look. I'm just going off the dome here. This dude wants to play for a winning basketball team. And what other team to play for than the New York Knicks, who are easily one of the hottest teams in the whole entire NBA this season. So we're in a good position, guys. But we can't always worry about how we're going to look when we're healthy. Like Jalen Brunson said, we got to find a way to win games right fucking now. Abdul Chima from YouTube, thank you for coming by. When you think Randall will be back after the break? I'm not sure where we're at in terms of Randall's timeline right now. But I know Tibbs and him had a conversation, I think 2 games ago before the Indiana game. And supposedly Randall is moving along. I don't know what that meant. There didn't seem to be no update in terms of his evaluation. But Randall, even if he looks on the bench, he seems to be in a good mood. He seems to be in good spirits. He seems to be in a happy mood. There's nothing else more to ask of what he's doing right now. I think he should take his time. Because that's another thing. There's going to be an adjustment once Randall comes back. So we need whenever these guys comes back, like Randall and Anunoby, they need like at least 5 to 10 games to adjust to what we got going on right now. Because before Randall got hurt and before OG got hurt, I mean, we were fucking tearing up the league. The Knicks were tearing. Kendrick Perkins said it, guys. The Knicks, I mean, Kendrick Perkins still standing on business right now. The Knicks are legit title contenders. And I believe the same fucking thing. Eugenio Free says he has stepped it up since he stated he broken. He also hit more than 15 footers that have helped him regain his confidence with. I'm not sure who you're talking about there. Oh, I think you're talking about Hart. Yeah, that was a funny little clip there on his roommate's podcast where he said my shit broke. He actually retweeted us. We made fun of him for that, and he retweeted us. But yeah, he has actually stepped it up since he said his shit was broken. I believe he hit 2 threes last night. Did he? Did Josh Hart? Josh Hart hit 3 threes last night. Josh Hart was 3 for 5 from 3-point land. So that's a telling sign. Oh, this is my favorite. My favorite part of Josh Hart is when he gets that ball off that fast break, and it's the same move every time. It's a left to right Euro, right-handed layup, literally unstoppable. I'm sure every fucking team, every player that guards Josh Hart knows it, and they literally can't stop it. Josh Hart, great player. All heart. Henry from YouTube, thanks for coming by. I know you're always in here showing us love. By the time these guys come back from injuries, we could be in the 6th or 7th seed. I mean, it's a possibility, but what matters the most is come playoff time, this team has to be healthy. Come playoff time, this team has to have Mitch Robinson back. This team has to have OG Anunoby back, and this team has to have Julius Randle back. And with that being said, the Knicks can make a run this season when fully healthy. Stop you crying, Lola. Yeah, I don't know, Vin. We're at an hour now. I don't know if you want to chime in here for a few minutes, chop it up with me, or if you want to touch on a couple things, you could gladly come up. But we ran for a good hour here now, and I don't really have much else to talk about. Okay. So we're all good to go here, guys. Thank you for joining the live stream today. I'm sure we're going to be on tomorrow. Thank you for the 2 people that super chatted us. Thank you for all the people that are listening on YouTube. Thank you to all the people that listen on Instagram and Twitter. If you haven't already, there's a nice right above me over here. I'm sorry, over there. Somewhere over there. Yep. BigNickEnergy.com. We got a lot of cool merch up there right now. I don't know. Maybe this week we'll throw a sale if I'm feeling nice, or if anybody wants to actually message Big Nick Energy on Instagram or Twitter. I'll give you a nice little fancy code that you could use. Maybe 40% off, maybe 50% off. I don't know. I'm feeling generous today. So if anybody wants, please message me. I got a nice code for you that you could spend on some cool merch for you, for yourself, for your girl, for your dad, for your grandma, for your auntie, whoever you want to buy merch for. We'd appreciate the support. Thank you for everybody. Growing Up Italians here. I Heart Angelo. Thank you for coming by, guys. Too late, though. We're out of here, guys. Take care.